It is no secret to longtime fans of the channel that trading card games have been a big influence in my life, both on and off the channel. In this series, both DemonBattler and myself will be opening 24 packs, or one box, of each core Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set in chronological order. After each opening, we will build decks from all of the cards we have opened thus far, then duel each other in a best-of-3 match with 3 prizes up for grabs to improve our decks. The winner will receive 2 of those prizes, and the loser will get 1. The possibilities for prizes are almost limitless, including single cards, sealed product, structure decks, and much more. Every card in the entire game's history will be obtainable in some form. However, neither of us will be able to rest on past laurels easily. The ever-changing official Forbidden and Limited list, our own choices of cards to be banished to the Shadow Realm, and even changes to the very rules of the game will keep our decks and duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Photon Shockwave was released November 10th, 2011. This set includes the Evol archetype, a dinosaur-focused rank 4 archetype capable of making very powerful boss monsters. This set also includes support for the Ice Barrier, Infernity, Laval, Naturia, Watt, Windup, and Vylon archetypes. Now this has a lot of impactful cards, but most of them at high rarity, so we're unlikely to get them. But there are a few commons I'd like to go over. I'd like to first go over Windup Bat and Watt Cobra. So Windup Bat is a defender that when you normal summon it, you'll be able to change it to defense position and then buy back a Windup monster from your graveyard. It's not great, but it does have a spot in the deck as far as our progression series goes. And then Watt Cobra is a 1k direct attacker that lets you Rota for a Watt monster when it deals battle damage by a direct attack. Then there's 2 other spells I'd like to discuss. The first one is Ego Boost, which is the biggest spell card pumping that we have so far. This is an all-star of limited formats in general, and could wind up seeing play if we don't have something better in archetype. The only thing I don't like about Ego Boost is even though it adds 1000 attack, you can't use this during the damage step because this has to be used on attack declaration. But it's still 1000 attack from one spell, which is quite a bit. And then the last common I'd like to discuss is One Day of Peace. This card gets limited quite quickly just because of how abusable it is in decks that try to do unfair things. So this gives each player a draw, and neither player takes damage until the end of the opponent's next turn. So this gives both players complete immunity from damage and lets you cycle a card. We do have quite a number of strong cards at the rare slot as well. One of the most important ones for us is going to be Kage Tokage. So Kage Tokage, you get to special summon from your hand whenever you normal summon a level 4 monster. It can't be normal summoned or set, but this card is very, very good at enabling rank 4 plays. Then the next card I'd like to talk about is Windup Night, which can get pretty big. It's 1800 to start with, and then you'll get a 1 attack negation, which is not bad. You're mostly playing this for the sizing, but being able to negate 1 attack against a Windup is great. Then we have a couple of trap cards that won't be good now, but they will be good much later. The first one is going to be Tyrants Throws, which you can activate by tributing 2 normal monsters that are not tokens. This prevents players from normal summoning or special summoning effect monsters. This is going to be extremely powerful with a couple of normal monster-focused archetypes later on, especially in things like Pendulum decks. And then the last rare I'd like to discuss is Deep Dark Trap Hole. This is going to be very good at taking care of synchro monsters, particularly Stardust Dragon, and this could wind up seeing a lot of play, not only now, but later on when we get the Trap Tricks archetype. And then at the super rare slot, we have quite a few cards I'd like to go for as well. The first one being Alexandrite Dragon. This is a normal monster. It is a 2k normal summon with a very relevant type and attribute. So this could wind up seeing some play depending on what we open out of other sets. Then the next card I'd like to discuss is Evil Tile Westlow, which is very important for the dinosaur-focused deck. This lets you, on flip, special summon an Evilsaur monster from your deck, which can be very good for making Xyz plays. Next, we have Windup Hunter. This is the card that got banned out of Windups for being able to hand loop your opponent for 5 cards on the first turn. This card is never coming off the ban list, simply because this lets you take an opponent's card out of their hand to the graveyard, and this is not a hard once per turn. Gee, I wonder why this card got banned. And then next we come up to some Xyz. We have Black Ray Lancer and number 20 Gigabrilliant. A Black Ray Lancer requires level 3 water specifically, and then you can negate effects on it. It's 2100, which isn't too bad, but it does require water specifically. And then number 20 Gigabrilliant is not a terrible rank 3. You can, once per turn, detach an Xyz material from it to give all face-up monsters you currently control 300 attack permanently, so it's a 2100 out of the gate that buffs all of your monsters, and this will be very powerful if we don't wind up getting number 17 Leviathan Dragon, which I do need to talk about towards the end of this section of the episode. Then the last card I'd like to discuss is Extra Gate out of the super rare slot. So Extra Gate lets you declare a level between 1 and 12, and then your opponent banishes 1 monster of that level from their extra deck. So if you know your opponent's extra deck well, you can force them to banish the only copy of a particular extra deck monster, and that can wind up disrupting plays. So this is situational, but it has seen play in the past. And then at the ultra rare slot, we have a lot of powerful cards. We have Evilsaur Serato, which is a 2100 summon when it's special summoned by the effect of an evil tile monster. And then every time it destroys a monster by battle, you get to recruit one out of your deck to your hand. Very, very powerful, and it's a 1900 baseline, which is already great. And then we get to some very, very powerful Xyz, 3 of them. All these Xyz are good in their specific archetypes. Number 10 Illuminite is a 2400 that can let you cycle cards out of your hand. The only annoying thing about this is it requires 3 materials, which can be pretty difficult to make. And then the big Xyz, depending on the rest of our pools, is Evilsaur Logia. So those of you who played Yu-Gi-Oh! Around this time know full well how terrifying Evilsaur Logia is. It is a 2400 rank 4 that requires dinosaur-type monsters to make, and then this is an Omni Negate. At quick effect speed, if a monster is normal or special summoned or a spell trap is activated, you can detach 2 materials to negate the action and destroy the card. And then the final Xyz I'd like to discuss is Thunder End Dragon. This is a Blue Eyes Xyz monster, effectively. You can make this with 2 level 8 normal monsters. It's a 3k body, and then once per turn you can detach a material to destroy all other monsters on the field. This could wind up being our first rank 8. And then at the secret rare slot, oh boy did Konami really shove the secret rare slot full of power. There are 5 really strong secret rares in here, and then the others aren't even that bad. The first one I'd like to talk about, and the big animal in the room, is Rescue Rabbit. So Rescue Rabbit lets you special summon 2 level 4 or lower normal monsters from your deck with the same name. They get destroyed during the end phase. Rescue Rabbit banishes itself, and of course the effect is a hard once per turn, but this is used to go into Logia plays very easily. You can make 1-card rank 4s with this, and yeah, Dino Rabbit was very much the most powerful deck around this time. Now, Shard of Greed is another card I'd like to talk about. Every time you draw a card for your normal draw, you get to put a greed counter on Shard of Greed, and then you can send the card with 2 or more greed counters on it to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. So this card has historically seen no play. However, this card is quite strong in a limited environment where the matches are going to be a lot slower, so I suspect if one of us pulls this, we're probably going to play it. Then the next secret rare I'd like to talk about is Windup Rabbit. So this card, at quick effect speed, lets you banish a Windup monster you control until your next standby phase, and this lets you reset its effect. This is part of the Zenmaity loop that Windups got hit on the banned list for. And then the next 2 I'd like to talk about are the 2 Xyz monsters. There's Evilsaur Dolka, which is not quite as strong as Logia. However, it does have a very powerful effect. At quick effect speed, you can detach a material from it to be able to negate an activated monster effect. And unlike Logia, this can be used twice because this only detaches one material. And then the final secret I'd like to talk about is Windup Zen Mains. So Zen Mains has... It's not quite as good under our rule set specifically because the number monsters have a very similar protection, but Zen Mains is quite good. It's a 2100 defender that you can make with 2 level 3s, and then if it would be destroyed, you can detach a material from it, and then during the end phase, if the effect to detach that material is used, you get to target any card on the field and destroy it. Zen Mains is an absolute house and is going to make us play answers for Xyz monsters. However, this was not the only set that was released during this time. We have a Mega Pack set, the first Mega Pack that we have in the Progression series, which is Legendary Collection 2, the Dual Academy Years. So this is quite a massive set, containing 261 cards, and we will not just be getting one pack of this. The Mega Pack sets had a varying number of packs in them, so for every helping of this that we take, we will be getting 1 box's worth of packs, which I believe is either 3 or 4 packs, depending on the Mega Pack specifically. So the way these work is that there are 4 different rarities that you each get 1 card of them, so you'll get 5 commons, 1 super rare, 1 ultra rare, 1 rare, and 1 secret rare per pack. And there are a lot of different cards in there, but each of these cards in each individual rarity will show up once per pack, and they are all equally likely to show up. So I'd like to go over some of the real hits that there are. There's Neospacian Aqua Dolphin, which could be very, very good later on. Card Trooper is in here. A lot of powerful cards at common. Prisma is quite good. The set is just so large that it's not likely that you'll get the cards you want, but if there are enough good cards out of here, there could wind up being a reason to go into this pack. Malicious is quite good as well, so Demon might be looking for another one of those. Ryo is in here, which is really sweet. There's a System Down reprint. Grandmaster is in here. All the 6 Sam stuff is in here. Common Judgment Dragon, Common Gateway of the 6. And remember, we get 5 of these per pack. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the sick reprints that are in the rare slot. There are quite a few good cards in the set. It's just that the set is so large. Mostly the rares are not too good. Elemental Hero Ocean and Elemental Hero Necroshade are interesting reprints, but I don't think they are good right now. At the super rares, a lot of the Elemental Hero Fusions are here, and a lot of the big boss monsters. There's some Crystal Beast support. Inishi is an interesting reprint. Heraklinos would be good if Bestiari wasn't banned. At the ultra rare slot, we have quite a few strong cards as well. Most of these are just high rarity versions of other cards. Light End Dragon is a pretty cool reprint. That was difficult to get before. D-Prison is unfortunately banned. There's a lot of the Light Swords in here as well. Rainbow Dark Dragon. And then at the secret rare slot, there is quite a bit. There's Necrogarda, Neos Alias, Dandelion is really big. Super Poly, D-Draw, Power Bond, Dark End Dragon, Phantom of Chaos. Phantom Skyblaster, while not good now, will be very good when we get to Lynx. And a lot of the Gladiator Beast stuff is here as well, and Great Shogun Shien. So there's a lot of incentive to go in this pack, but the set is so large that unless you're looking for a lot of cards from it, I don't know if this is going to be worth it, considering I still need quite a few wild cards. I would like to get a secret rare craft so I can just craft max C and get it out of the way. There are a couple more items that I would like to discuss, including the Gates of the Underworld structure deck, which was released on October 13th, 2011. Now, this doesn't have a ton of cards that we get out of it, but this is a duel that it is going to be very important to keep these cards out of Demon's hands because he has an incredible Dark World core, and he's going to get Grapha. So Grapha is insane. And this put Dark World on the map by itself. You could pick up 3 copies of this structure deck, take this to a YCS, and do just fine. That is one of the big reasons why you would run into almost nothing but Dark World for the first couple of YCSs after this deck was released. If you could not afford Dino Rabbit, this could compete against it. So what this does is you can special summon it from your graveyard by returning a Dark World monster you control to the hand except itself. And it is quite strong. It has some other effects as well, and it's a 2700 body, which is massive. And there are a couple of other new cards like Snow and Cerulean that are quite good. There's also a lot of strong reprints, including Dark Bribe. I need to keep Dark Bribe out of Demon's hands as well, because there's just really good counter traps that we have now, and I want to keep those counter traps out of his hands. He'll also get another Trag. So I believe that just the two big cards in here are Trag, Dark Bribe, and of course the new cards, but I need to keep this deck out of Demon's hands. And then there's one other thing I'd like to discuss, and that's the Collector's Tins. There were 2 waves of Collector's Tins in 2011. Now that both of them are released, we're going to be drafting these each as units. So the first 2 tins will have number 17 Leviathan Dragon and Windup Zenmeister, both of which are very strong. And the rest of these cards don't really matter too much. Stygian Street Patrol is cool. I think Dark Cimoooooooo is a little bit dated. It's still a strong card, but I think it's just too dated at this point. Christia is kind of cool. But the big thing that we get out of these tins is that both of these have Pot of Duality. So if we want a Pot of Duality, we can get it no matter what. And then the other 2 tins are equally important, not because of the cards that come in them, but because they have Solemn Warning. Both of us missed this card when it came out in 5Ds, and it's going to be very, very important. And it's not too important that we get 2 copies of this because this does get limited, but the tin that I have my eyes on is actually the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon tin, because it has Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo in it, which is a huge pain in the butt now, and it's going to be a bigger pain in the butt later once we have more summoning mechanics. There are certain archetypes that are close to the modern era, or even in the modern era of Yu-Gi-Oh! That just cannot answer a Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo. And then, with the release of Photon Shockwave, came a huge update to the Forbidden and Limited list, the September 2011 Forbidden and Limited list. This shook up the format a ton. So for bans, Fishboard Blaster is now banned, meaning that we will only be able to play 1 copy of it. Mindmaster, Giant Trunade, and Royal Oppression get removed from the format. BLS comes off the ban list after 7 years of being there. And it's not going to make a difference now, but this card will come off the list completely once we get closer to the modern era of Yu-Gi-Oh! And us having multiple copies of this in our limited format could be incredibly frustrating to play against. A Debris Dragon goes to 1, mostly for Xyz plays, and then a lot of the Synchro Turbo cards get hit as well, such as Formula Synchron and TG Hyper Librarian, where Librarian will remain for the rest of time. And then this set also hit a ton of plant support, and it hit a lot of the 6 Samurai cards as well, such as Legendary 6 Samurai Shi-En, Lone Fire Blossom, and then some more limits. Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier goes to 1, Heavy Storm goes to 1, Avarice to 1, Primal Seed to 1, not quite sure why, this card never saw competitive play. Shi-En Smoke Signal to 1 is going to hurt the consistency of the 6 Samurai deck massively. And then we have some semi-limits: Duloran, Necrogardener, Summoner Monk, Trag, Destiny Draw, Swords of Revealing Light. Call of the Haunted is really, really big. This is a huge semi-limit, and this is going to come off the list completely, so we won't need to play any cards like Limit Reverse or the archetype-specific ones, because thanks to all the reprints, we have multiple copies of Call of the Haunted, and this is going to be quite good. Mind Crush also goes to 2 copies, which is very, very important for today's matchup, because I plan on side decking Mind Crush against System Down to play these Karakuris. And then some unlimits: Judgment Dragon, Spirit Reaper, where Spirit Reaper will stay for the rest of time, and we don't have to worry about breaking the rules with deck building again like it was at the end of 5Ds. I'm so sorry about that. It was an honest mistake, and I had no clue that Spirit Reaper was still limited in 2011. Megamorph to 3, MST to 3 is really big, Overload Fusion to 3 is really big. Gravity Bind goes to 3 because now we have Xyz monsters that don't care about levels, they care about ranks. And then Icarus Attack going back to 3 because Black Wings are still not relevant in the meta, but they're highly relevant in our meta, so having a 3rd copy of Icarus Attack could be good for that deck. But the biggest unlimits by far are Call of the Haunted to 2, Overload Fusion to 3, and Mystical Space Typhoon to 3. Alright, so before we get to the opening, we do need to open our participation packs. We get 3 packs of Turbo Pack 6, because Turbo Pack 6 is still the current OP pack, so see if we can get something cool out of it. Oh my god, look at that pretty! We got an ultimate rare Dark Arm Dragon? Yeah! This is limited right now, but eventually this is going to come off the list. And you might notice that the special summoning condition of Dark Arm Dragon is not once per turn. That was very unexpected, but I will take an ulti Dark Arm Dragon. And then we'll see what we get out of our second pack. Lecter's nice. That's a nice pickup. And then for our final pack, we got a Stardust Dragon. That's a sick hit. So now we can actually play a second copy of Stardust Dragon. I'm super happy with these pulls. Just a second Dad and Stardust Dragon. We won't be able to use the second Dad for a while, obviously, but having that second Dad is going to be very, very strong when it does get unlimited. It's not going to be for a while, though, and we'll need to obviously have a Dark-focused archetype, but I did pick up a second Stardust Dragon for the extra deck. I don't know how much I'm going to be using it. It'll be good with Starlight Road, but for now, let's go ahead and move on to the main opening, which is going to be Photon Shockwave. So we got 24 packs of this to go through. Hopefully we hit some secret rares and some high rarity stuff I'm looking for. Rescue Rabbit would be sweet, but we also need a Logia to go with it if we're going to play anything like that. Let's go ahead and flip them up. And nothing too special, sadly. There's One Day of Peace. That's a card that we do want to see at least one of. It does get fairly quickly limited, so I'm not too unhappy if I get less copies of it, but that could wind up seeing play in just combo decks that do not care about the battle phase. There's a second One Day of Peace, Ego Boost. The Ego Boost is okay. I don't think I'm going to play it in a deck like Karakuri that has a much better combat trick, but it is an option for blowouts in combat. It's just unfortunate that it cannot be activated during the damage step. And there's Tyrants Throws. That could wind up being very good if we get the normal monster deck working once we get to Pendulum format, because that can stop a lot of stuff. And there's our first super rare. Unfortunately, it is not a good one. It is Gem Turtle. This gives support for Gem Knights, which I don't think we're going to be able to play. And there's an ultra rare. That's not a bad one. That's Evilsaur Serato. Depending on what else we get, we might be able to play some kind of dinosaur deck, but we will need to see. We do need to pull one of the Xyzs as well, but Serato's a big boy. And there's a second Serato! Do we play dinosaurs? Do we really play dinosaurs? I don't know if we play dinosaurs today, but we do still need to get one of the Xyzs, but double Serato's actually pretty crazy. And a Diplo. We'll take that. This dinosaur deck could actually come together, and we have some older dinosaur support we can play as well. And there's our first Kage Tokage. That's quite important for any of our rank 4 plays. We might have to slot these in our deck if we get another rank 4. Currently, the only rank 4 we have is number 39 Utopia, but that's obviously quite powerful. Tribe Shocking Virus is unfortunately not very good because it goes off of the discarded cards type, rather than just being able to declare a type of monster. Tribe Infecting Virus, that card is not. And there's another super rare. That's a Westlow. This deck is coming together. I think this is, what, our second Westlow? It's our first or second Westlow. I'd need to check. I think this is our first Westlow, but I'd need to double check the recording. Either way, this is a solid pickup. Just wow. I don't know if we can make this work for this episode because we need a little bit more support, and I'd like to be able to craft a Logia or just pull a Logia, but... That's not Logia, but that is... Woo! A secret rare, Evilsaur Dolka. I really gotta think about dinosaurs now. That's not Logia, but that's really strong. Holy shit. What a secret rare to pull. It's not even one of the generically good secret rares, but just, wow, what a card. Alright, only 3 packs to go. This has been a hell of a ride. We have a pretty crazy Evilcore, and I don't feel comfortable building it yet without some of the support that comes out from later sets, but wow. Can we get one more hit in the close? Even if I don't get one, it'd be really cool to get another hit for that deck. That pack does not have anything particularly good that we don't already have, sadly, so let's move on to our second to last pack. And we did get a super rare. Unfortunately, it's not a particularly good one. It is number 83 Galaxy Queen, which is a rank 1, and we don't really have enough good level 1 monsters, plus it's 3 materials. It does give mass piercing and make your monsters be unable to be destroyed by battle, but just 3 level 1s is a lot to ask for, unfortunately. And then we'll see what's in our very last pack. We got another secret rare. It is unfortunately a really, really bad secret rare for our format. It is D-Boys. This requires you to have multiple copies of this card. Could you imagine if this was like a Rescue Rabbit? Unfortunately, it is not a very good card. This is completely worthless to us. This is a rank 1 engine, but we need to have multiples of it, which is a secret rare, and let's be real. If I get a secret rare craft, I'm going to craft Max C, and then if I get another one, I'm probably going to craft Rescue Rabbit. But we have some work to do. Alright, so here's the list that we're going to be taking to today's duel, and we've changed a couple of things around, but it's mostly the same Karakuri combo engine. I cut the desynchros because I thought it was a little gimmicky, and I went for something that has a little bit more consistency. So we'll go through some of the changes, and of course the card by card. We have triple Sidra because this is a great starter. 1 Shinkaro, triple Nanishi, triple Inashichi, double Nanashi, triple Kuik, double Nisamu, triple Nishipachi for the Karakuris, and then we have Krebons and Psychic Commander as emergency teleport targets. For the spells, we have E-Telly, of course, Giant Trunade, double Anatomy, triple Cash, double Gold Dust, limit removal, triple machine duplication because this lets us go through a lot of our combos, double MST for removing back row, double overload fusion. So this is the new thing that we are doing with this deck. Overload fusion actually got put to 3 copies recently, so I'm going to be putting 2 of them in here just to be able to push for a giant Chimera Tech Overdragon, and I would not be surprised if Overdragon got hit on this next ban list. And then 1 Pot of Greed and 1 Premature Burial, rounding out the spells. For the traps, we have Compulsory Evacuation Device ×2, Dark Bribe, and Solemn Judgment rounding out the main deck. For the side deck, we have 1 copy of Dimensional Fissure and 1 copy of Macrocosmos that we are allowed to be able to play against some of the graveyard decks. We have 1 Minecon to be able to steal our opponent's monsters for extra deck plays, a double Prohibition, double Call of the Haunted. This will come in against slower matchups to be able to revive our Synchro monsters and be able to just make big plays with them. The second Dark Bribe, double Mind Crush. So Mind Crush is in here specifically to try to either snipe Kalute or adds off of Black Whirlwind out of Demon's hand, or to be able to Mind Crush for System Down. So next we have the 1 Mirror Force, double Needle Sealing, Starlight Road, and a Torrential Tribute. So the big side deck card I'm hedging against is System Down, because if System Down is not in DemonBattler's side deck for the last duel, it is going to be in this duel for sure. And then the extra deck is 1 copy of Chimera Tech Overdragon to be able to go into off of Overload Fusion. This could wind up being extremely large just because of how spammy the Karakuris get. 1 AFD, double Black Rose. Then for the 6s, we have Goyo, Iron Chain, and Orient Dragon. Magical Android as our lone 5. Our 7, we have Bure. And then for our 8s, we have Burrito, double Stardust Dragon, and Scrap Dragon. And for the Xyz, we have number 34 Terabyte and our newly won number 39 Utopia. I am really looking forward to seeing how Demon adapts to this deck and see if we can keep up our win streak with our Karakuri Combo Card Advantage Engine deck. I hope you're ready to high-five the sky because it's time to duel. Boy, Photon Shockwave's hell of a set, isn't it?
Yeah, it is an interesting set, that's for sure.
A lot of potential for fireworks to occur.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, like, I love Photon Shockwave in general just because it has a nice boss monster that's actually kind of easy to summon and doesn't require the extra deck, which, it's weird as it is to say, it is a bit of a fresh breath of fresh air. Like, the Galaxy Eyes Dragon was a problem to deal with for a while when it first came out.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see how things fare here.
We shall see indeed.
Let's go with that.
Can't get you with Paper Gang anytime. Of course not.
Alright, I'm definitely going first, because we still get the draw.
We do. Good luck, duelist.
Good luck. Ooh. Hey, let's see. Draw. Standby main. I'm thinking I'm just going to do a humble U set and pass.
A U set? Fine. Draw for turn, standby phase, main phase. How about I start with Pot of Greed?
Ooh, that's a good one. Go ahead.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and run ourselves out a Sidra.
Ooh, Sidra, okay.
Then I'm going to make Shinkra.
Let's see. So you're making... So it's a tuner.
It is a tuner.
Thinking. I'm going to change the summon, I'm gonna drop Maxi.
Gonna Maxi now, huh?
I couldn't really do anything against the Sidra, so...
I still think this is worth it, though. I'm gonna sink.
Alright.
Let's put everything away. Effective Black Rose Dragon. You will get to draw a card.
Alright, so I get to draw, and then in normal summon.
Yeah, I have normaled.
I'm going to chain Reckless Greed.
Interesting that you're on Reckless Greed, of all things.
And I'm also going to chain Threatening Roar just in the off chance.
I mean, that does get the backer out of there, at least. Oh god, you're on RML? What garbage is this? Lovely. The heck are you playing?
That's for me to know and you to find out.
I mean, obviously you have 3 copies of One Day of Peace in your deck. Go!
Alright, so first turn, I cannot...
Yeah,
I cannot draw.
first turn on Reckless.
Standby, main, but I can do this one.
Yep, that's good.
Oh, and I can do this as well.
Of course.
And I guess that'll be it for the turn.
Draw for turn, standby phase, main phase. Let's go ahead and run out Inashichi effect.
Inashichi. Alright.
Let's add a copy of Cash to hand.
Okay.
I'm going to activate Anatomy.
Okay.
Then I'm going to activate Cash.
Okay. So you get to add a Karakuri, and then switch your monster to defense, and get a counter.
Correct. So let's grab a copy of... I'm actually going to keep the value train going and add another Inashichi to my hand.
Okay.
Go!
Alright, so that's the second turn that I don't get to draw. Standby main. I think I'm just going to set a card and pass.
Probably another battle trick. Probably another fog. Draw for turn. Standby phase. Main phase. Well, I think the first thing I do is switch this Inashichi to attack, trigger Anatomy.
Okay.
Activate Anatomy.
Alright.
This is kind of irritating, actually. This doesn't seem right. This play seems so bad. Inashichi?
Let's see. Okay, so you get an
Or
extra
Nanishi,
normal
I'm
summon.
sorry. Nanishi, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Then I'm
Alright.
gonna dupe target Nanishi.
Thank God you only get the extra normal summon once.
Additional normal summon Queek.
Interesting that you only brought out one extra Nanishi.
I wonder where the other one could be.
Sucks to draw your Garnet, doesn't it?
So is Queek good?
Queek is good.
Sink. I actually have to think what I want to make here. I'm gonna sync with these two.
Okay.
For Bure. Bure effect.
Okay.
And this is why I was so happy that you dropped that Maxi on that Cyber Dragon.
Yeah. Honestly, well, that's the thing. I had a feeling that if I didn't drop it then, you were probably going to still be able to pull this kind of shit.
Special Nanashik.
Nanashik. Okay, so it's a normal summon effect. No big deal.
Correct.
All right.
This, yeah, anything on Resolution.
Resolution's good.
Synchro. Stardust Dragon.
Okay.
Go to battle phase. Show me the T-Roar. Yep.
You got it.
Go.
All right, and now I can start drawing again.
You can.
Standby main. Let's set a card, and then let's have some fun. Swords of Revealing Light.
Yeah, that's at 2 now.
Yep, and I will pass the turn.
Draw for turn. Standby phase. main phase. I'm gonna Trunade. Show me the T-Roar. Yup. Had to try. Alright, so now how much additional value can I extract here? Let's go... How do I get to Burrito from here is the question. I think I know how I get to Burrito from here. Let's go Ninishi.
Alright.
Premat target Nanashik.
Okay.
Let me pay for Premat. I was thinking about doing the Premat prior to Giant Trunade, but I wanted to get the back row up first. But I will target Nanashik. Special Nanashik.
Alright.
Synchro. For Burrito. Burrito effect.
Alright.
Burrito is going to get me Queek.
Okay.
Then I will switch Inashichi to defense position, trigger Burrito.
Alright. Draw your card.
Then I'm going to set 2 back row, and I'm under Threatening Roar, so I'm unable to attack. Go ahead.
Alright. Draw. Stand by main. Well, you know what's coming.
That's fine.
Alright. I'm going to... I think I'm going to pass.
End step space the back row.
Ouch. Okay.
Okay, well, stand by main. Inashichi to attack. Draw a card.
Alright.
Battle phase. Show me,
Okay.
Show me the Swift Scarecrow.
I do not have the Swift Scarecrow.
You have a Battle Fader?
No, I do not.
Queek.
Alright.
Burrito. Or Beret, sorry.
Beret.
Alright, show me your trick.
And...
Oh, of course.
And I think I will put that token... Let's see, is it the same attack?
Also, this was on resolution of the Beret attack, correct?
Correct.
It has stats that are the same. It's a 2600, but that is fine. Then I'm just gonna run over the cores with Burrito.
All right. Take 100.
That 2600 token is scary though, and then unfortunately I do have to attack with the Inashichi into the token, and I'll take 21. Main 2, I have a back row for you.
All right.
Go.
All right. Draw. Standby main. I'm going to equip the Broken Bamboo Sword to my token.
Here we go.
And I will activate a Golden Bamboo Sword.
Yep.
And I will activate another Golden Bamboo Sword.
Turbo through that deck.
Then I will set 2 cards. I will set a monster. That was not.
That's not setting.
What
That's not setting a monster. But I know the kind of degeneracy you're on. Yeah, that could be anything. Draw for.
Could be literally anything.
Draw for turn. Standby phase. Main phase. First of all, let's draw a card.
All right.
Effective Beret target this set.
Why you gotta be a meanie like that?
That'll work. Okay, how do I side against this nonsense? Alright, here comes all the side deck hate. I knew I was going to take game 1, and then you probably have about 7 or 8 side deck cards for this deck.
Alright. Let's see what happens. Alright, so draw. Standby main. I think I'll start with this.
I'll take a stack.
Then I will set a monster and set 2 and pass it to you.
Draw for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Let's run out Nisamu.
Nisamu. Okay.
Let's go to battle.
Okay.
Hit. Probably an RML.
It's actually my Plague Spreader.
That is A-okay. I will pass the turn.
Okay. Draw. Standby main. I think I will just set another monster, and I will set another card.
Draw for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Go to battle.
Alright.
Hit. Is this the RML?
It is this time.
All right.
Get some knowledge.
I'll take 6. Main 2, I will pass the turn.
Okay. Draw. Stand by main. Let's see. I'm going to start by equipping... Let's see. I'm going to activate Reckless Greed.
Reckless Greed's fine.
Alright, so I turn off auto draw. I'm going to equip Broken Bamboo Sword to my RML.
Here we go! Am I gonna get another turn?
Possibly. I will activate Upstart Goblin.
Sure, I'll take a stack. Although, those life points might actually be relevant because I have to hit this RML.
Yeah, true. And then I will activate my Golden Bamboo Sword.
So I get to draw 3 cards.
And then I will take... Yep, so draw 2. Take that.
I hear A-Call is pretty good.
Oh, and look at that. 1 day apiece.
Yup! At least I don't take damage from slamming into your RML.
True. I think I will pass the turn.
Draw for turn, standby phase, main phase. Let's go ahead and force one of these. I'm going to prohibit Threatening Roar.
Ooh. That's actually a really good choice.
You want to use it?
Honestly, I do. Just because of the fact that if I don't, that's going to clog up a spot for now.
Then I'm going to set a monster and set a back row.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Alright. So, draw. That's... turn. That's turn 1. Standby main. I think I'm going to set a card and pass the turn.
Draw for turn, standby phase, main phase. Let's go Nishipachi. Effect target RML.
Okay.
Dupe.
Ooh, that's gonna be a problem. Yep, that's fine. Oh, I just realized too, this actually... I've just realized RML now has 3 counters on it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that triggers on anybody's spell cards, unfortunately, not just yours.
And unfortunately, it getting the second one from Prohibition last turn didn't do anything to me.
Alright, now I gotta look at my extra deck for a while. Oh, this is gonna be hilarious. I'm not even gonna go into the synchro bullshit. I'm actually gonna overlay here.
Oh, God. Wait, what are you? 3? 3? Rank 3. Oh, Terabyte?
Yup. I'll detach a material to grab your RML.
Oh, that's...
Isn't that gross?
Yeah, that is.
I'm gonna remove the counters to draw a card.
And now you can make a rank 4.
Then I'm gonna overlay for Utopia.
Oh, shit.
That's disgusting. Holy shit.
Yes, that is.
I also drew that off of the RML too.
Oh my god. Okay, you know what? I can't even be mad because for once in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh, Terabyte actually was useful for something.
That's so gross.
Oh god.
Battle phase.
Okay.
25.
I mean, do you want to negate it on your terms or on my terms?
I'm just gonna take the damage. Main 2. Set 1. I'm gonna set another one too. Go! Well, that was a turn.
Right.
That was a turn.
Draw. Second turn, I can't draw. Stand by main. I will turn auto draw back on now so I can remember that. I guess I'm just gonna pass the turn.
Draw for turn. Stand by main. What can I do here? This is gonna be pretty boring, actually. I'm actually going to flip Shinkro. I don't really have too much. This board is actually kind of awkward. Go to battle. Anything in battle?
Okay. Yeah, let's just do it. Waboku.
You have another fog. Okay, that is A-okay. I will just... I mean, this has to attack, obviously. Then I'm gonna, after combat, think I'm just gonna pass.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. I will set a card and pass.
Draw for turn, standby phase, main phase. I'm going to normal Ninishi.
Okay.
I'm going to put Shinkro to defense position. I will activate Cash, target Ninishi.
Okay.
So this gets put to defense. I'm going to grab myself a copy of Queek. Do I want to get Queek? Yeah, let's get Queek. Additional normal summon, I'm actually going to tribute the Terabyte for Nanashik.
Oh.
Effective Nanashik, draw 2.
Not very often that effect kicks off.
Then this goes to my graveyard. Those are both tuners, unfortunately, and I'm out of special summons. Well, I've already used both my normal summons, but now that I've gotten the value off of this, I think I am going to just make... Yeah, I'm going to just synchro. Or... That's probably just a fog back there. I'll just make Burrito.
Okay.
Burrito effect. That good?
Where's a Max D when you need one?
Go
ahead.
I'll get my other Nanashik.
Okay.
Go to battle.
And Waboku.
I'm gonna bribe that.
Ah. Okay.
Go 22.
2.
25.
25.
Got a Gores for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop a Gores because I know you well enough that I swear if I didn't do that, you were going to Burrito me and limiter removal.
I'm just gonna walk over the... I'm gonna walk over the Gores.
Alright.
Then I am going to pass the turn.
Alright. Draw.
During draw phase.
Oh god, here we go.
During your draw phase, I'm going to Mind Crush you for Exodia the Forbidden One.
Yeah, you got one.
I figured you might be on this bullshit with 1 day of peace.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those things where it seemed like a great idea in theory. In fact, I'm gonna show you the deck list when I'm done after we're done, but god, it is not working out in practice. 1 day of peace.
Sure.
Okay.
That's not actually what the Mind Crush is in there for, but it just happened to work out. I'm actually boarding the Mind Crush for a different card.
Fair enough. And then I'm going to put this card back on top of the deck to bring Plague Spreader back to the field.
You have a 9?
I have a try to save my ass next turn.
Draw for turn. Standby phase. Main phase. Do I have a way to put that Plague Spreader in attack position? I just have to... Oh, I have it on board, actually. Make a 7. Beret effect.
In response, Maxi.
That's fine. That's fine. You can have your card.
Not like it's going to do me too much good. I already know what it is.
Tweak. Beret effect.
Alright.
I meant to, like, effective Beret target Plague Spreader Zombie, but that was pretty expected. Battle phase.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and just hit into the PSC.
Okay.
Damage step.
1 day of peace.
Right. I completely forgot about 1 day of peace.
That's the thing, I'm sitting here, you're like, can I get him into attack mode? I'm sitting here like, is there a reason? You know I just played that.
I completely spaced you played 1 day of peace.
Wow. Oh, that's actually kind of funny. If I can... Oh, wait, that's actually kind of... Okay, it's not going to do too much.
That might be the single biggest mistake that I've made throughout all of Progression Series, and if that doesn't go in the highlight reel, something's wrong.
Oh, yeah. We really need to work on the highlight reel at some point and figure that out.
I already have a list.
Okay, how do I want to do this?
That is definitely the single biggest blunder I have ever made in this game. And yes, when you special summoned the Gores in defense, I did have limiter.
I had a feeling. Alright, let's go ahead and crash into Utopia.
I'll negate.
Okay, main phase 2. I will pass the turn.
Draw for turn. Standby phase, main phase. I think this is game over. I am going to... You have no back row. And we're not under 1 day of peace.
Correct.
I'm going to tribute Utopia for Sidra.
Oh.
Activate Overload Fusion.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's it 2 now.
Oh, damn. I am dead.
You are extremely dead. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, this is a machine too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. 14 times 8.
Oh, yeah, I had that set too.
That's 11,200.
Yes, that is 11,200 attack points. Battle phase. Hiya!
Yeah.
In true Zane fashion.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. So you had Exodia pinned it right away, but the sad thing is, there's a reason why I actually tried to crash into Utopia, and I got the result I want. I got a result I wanted, not the result I wanted. I wanted you to detach Royal Magical Library, because I then could have banished.
Oh, did you have BLS?
I drew BLS. I could have banished Utopia, and then I could have activated Primal Seed.
That's at 1 copy, yeah.
I sided these guys as well as a couple of Cyber Dragons in specifically so that way if something happened and you ever managed to discard away one of my Exodia pieces or banished one, I could turn around and get that card back into my hand without too much trouble, and then have a big monster on the field too. Because I actually had 2 pieces in my hand right here. I think I had 3 when you called it, and then my last card was Threatening Roar. But like I had, like the deck basically was turbo draw go, essentially.
Yeah, I figured when you were on like 1 day of peace. I thought you were playing some kind of turbo Exodia deck, which is why I boarded in the Mind Crushes. The Mind Crushes were actually in the side deck for System Down, because I was expecting System Down, and I wanted to try to snipe that out of your hand before I made my board.
Yeah, that's fair. So, I will admit, this is one of those decks where I had it in mind, and the whole time I was like, it's probably not going to work, but it's going to be so much fun to try.
Oh, it was definitely fun.
If you could chain it right, this deck is a pain in the ass.
Oh, I've played Chainburn before, so I know how terrible these kinds of decks can be.
Now, I will say this too. So, you're aware that I have Maxi. You're also aware that I got a wild card, Any. I'm sure it's no surprise that I did that.
That explains why you had Maxi both games.
I was like, and honestly, the funny thing is when you were like, oh, it has to be unlimited, I wonder why. I had a feeling that was your thinking.
No, 1 day
but
of
it was
peace.
actually true.
1 day of peace is at 1.
And Upstart is also at 1 too.
Yep. I mean, every deck in Constructed at this point was playing 3 Upstart.
Yeah. Well, and that's the nice thing for mine too, is the fact that like aside from Magic Cylinder, which is really there just to blank another attack, just in case you ended up solemning my Waboku or my Threatening Roar or whatever, it's the fact that realistically your life points don't matter.
No, they don't.
I actually did have options to where I could throw in Stealth Bird and Wave Motion Cannon as a damage option, but I had a feeling that the backup wasn't going to work well enough to keep me alive that long, so...
And not when I'm doing stuff like that, either.
No, this was definitely out of left field, and I completely forgot that... Truth be told, I kind of forgot that Chimera Tech over Dragon is even a thing. I was so worried about... We were so focused on Fortress Dragon at the time that I completely skipped over this thing.
You know, the funny thing is, I actually have multiple Ultras of this.
Oh, that's funny. Wow. So I play the Exodia deck, and yet I'm the one that gets obliterated.
Alright, that was a very... I think these were still interesting games.
Oh, yeah.
I just do not deserve... I do not deserve 1 bit to win that second game after the blunder I made under 1 day of peace.
Like, and the funny thing was, I was actually starting to say, like, okay, 1 day of peace, and, like, right as I was about to say that part, that's when you dropped Limiter, and I'm like, you probably should have waited 5 seconds.
I just did not deserve to win this game, and I fully expect a ton of bans to get pointed at this deck soon.
That's the tough part, though, is the fact that, like, even if I point some bans at it. The fact is, there's just so many working parts to it that even if I cut out one or two, it's not that big a deal. Like, almost I'd have to go specifically for the tuners to really do anything. And even then, that's not that bad because they have so many different tuners to work with.
But I will say that this Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, or Chimera Tech Over Dragon, has to make the highlight reel.
Oh, absolutely. Dang, so that's 2 highlights in 1 match.
Alright, I am going to figure out what I want off of the prizes.
Oh, and we need to discuss some extra things as well.
We do. We need to discuss the tins.
So, we have to discuss some collectible tins that came out in 2011.
We do, and these tins are very, very powerful. Each one of them has amazing cards in them.
So, we have 2 waves. We have the first wave, which is for number 17 Leviathan Dragon and Windup Zenmeister. And then the second wave has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon and number 10 Illuminite. The interesting thing about these is each of them have a very unique card that are available in both of the tins for each side, which are Solemn Warning for the second wave and Duality for the first wave.
And both of those cards are really, really strong. But as much as I would like to keep you off of Zenmeister, you're going to get a rank 4 eventually because Pappy is a card and that's only a rare. So I think taking the Zenmeister tin here would be way too much of a desperation tactic to keep you off of a rank 4. And I don't really have a good rank 3 yet, so I'm actually going to grab the number 17 Leviathan Dragon tin. It also has a Dark Cimoooooooo in it, which is pretty good.
And honestly, I'm okay with that because not only does Zenmeister itself have some good use, but on top of that, I also see a Archlord Christia, which is actually something pretty interesting to work with.
Yeah, Christia is crazy too, but I just need I need an offensive rank 3.
And then regarding the second wave of tins,
I'm definitely taking the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon tin because it has Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo, which is completely silly.
Yeah, fair enough, because honestly, Dark Soul is a decent super rare for this tin, but honestly, unless I'm running X-Sabers themselves, it's not that useful. And honestly, the rest of them aren't really all that helpful for me. Like, Tyrant Neptune has a decent effect, but I don't really have a good way to abuse that effect.
Once you find a way to abuse that, though, that card is incredibly busted. It's banned for a reason.
Now we both have a duality and a warning, so that's going to be something interesting.
We do, so I'll actually have to play around negation now.
Alright, and I think for my end, that's all we have in terms of the bonus stuff.
We do.
You have, I believe you have a structure deck to discuss, as well as a Blizzard Princess to discuss.
I do have that structure deck, and that was really important for me to win this duel, because it also keeps you off of Dark Bribe.
So, I'll let you get to that, and I will get to my loser's wheel, which I believe counts now as 2 spins of the catch-up wheel.
I think I'm at 5, so 1. Because we were at because I was at an effective 4 win streak after Photon Shockwave, which would put me at an effective 5 win streak after Generation Force. I was at an effective 4 win streak, so this would put me at an effective 5 win streak, I believe. All right, another episode, another victory with the Karakuri deck. This deck is so solid, and I really think there's going to have to be multiple cards banned out of it. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the tuners get banned soon. But we have made it to the winner's wheel again, and as tempting as those mega packs are to be able to get some of the really strong reprints out of them, I'm actually going to elect to spin on the crafting wheel, because there are a bunch of cards that I need off of the crafting wheel. For some of my decks. I would not mind another copy of Burrito. I have my new dinosaur deck to consider, but let's go ahead and see what we wind up with. Looking for cards in like the rare, super rare, ultra rare. Secret would be cool. But we get an ultra rare craft. That is one of the big crafts that I'm looking for, and I know precisely what card I'm going to take. So surprising absolutely no one, the card that I'm going to be taking with my ultra rare craft is going to be a copy of Evelzar Logia. So this is the big monster that I missed. Since I have that really sick Evol package, I'm just going to grab my copy of Logia and just terrorize Demon with it once I get around to making that deck. And then let's see what we wind up with our craft for winning. Would really like to see some of the higher end stuff. There's other cards that I want to craft as well, but it looks like we're going to just get a common. Yep, we got a common, and there's not really a ton that I'm looking for in the common slot, unfortunately. So I am going to have to figure out what I want. So my common craft for this episode is going to be a 3rd copy of Karakuri Anatomy. This is the best common that I have left that I did not get a playset of. I'm a little surprised I didn't get 3 of this, but this will fill out that playset, and that's going to make the Karakuri deck a lot more consistent. And that'll be a wrap for today's episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Join us next time when we continue our adventures through ZEXAL with Order of Chaos. Until then, see you around.